Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
It's Colin.
And Cadence.
Back at you live. Can you hear these seagulls? Can you hear them in the background?
No, I can't.
Oh.
You're fine.
I have my windows completely open, and I'm pretty much wearing a tiny little piece of lace because it's so hot. It's really warm, even in Ireland. It got into the 80s, which is a big deal. But you're in Phoenix, so no. But you know what? At least it's a dry heat. And you can't even go outside long enough to get a tan. Oh, remember? You know who I'm talking about. The public pool that we used to go to.
You're talking about the guy who was in the American Association for Nudist Recreation.
Yes.
I remember him like it was yesterday.
Leather thong guy. Always, Cadence and I had this like public pool in our neighborhood.
In Phoenix, for as hot as it is, 1,000,000 degrees, you can't ever be lounging by the pool for too long in the heat of the summer because
You'll die.
It's 100-something degrees. You'll die. And so you have to at least get in, bring your body temp down, and get back out. We liked to tan, and so we would do that. There was this guy who would come to the community pool who had this beautiful custom leather thong.
Mm-hmm.
And he would lay out on a chair. And one time Colin and I were like, let's see how long, because we were like, he never gets in the water. So let's see how long it takes before he finally gets in the water.
Oh, and to give you just a good visual, he was Tiger King. That's what he looked like. That visual
I
is
mean,
him.
roughly, not the bleached hair, but everything else was the vibe for sure.
Yes, he was for
he
sure.
had
Whatever
Tiger
his
King
name is.
energy.
Very hot. Big Tiger King energy.
And so
BTKE, big Tiger King energy.
we watched and watched and watched. We tried to stay out as long as he did.
Can't do it.
Maybe made it half an hour how to get in the pool. Still didn't get in. We got out 10 for a little while longer. Tried to make it as long as he did.
He
still didn't
faced
get in
that
the
sun.
pool.
I don't know if you guys know this, but again, I was a lifeguard for a really long time. And lifeguards are never really off duty. So there was a point I was like, do I need to go do mouth to mouth? Because he could be a dead corpse in the sun. He could have actually bit the dust.
Yeah, no.
Right when we were on the cusp of going to give him mouth to mouth, like walking up to him, he'd be like, and breathe. But he still wouldn't get in the water.
So there's two
He still
things.
wouldn't drink water or get in the water.
So the two things that I remember most about this experience was after a solid 2 hours, he never once, at 110 degrees outside, never once even dipped a toe in the pool.
I don't know how anyone could possibly do that.
I know.
And
It
you're
was
wearing
like
a leather
physical
thong.
feat.
Leather of all things to wear.
It
You're
just
wearing a
keeps shrinking.
leather-
It's getting like sweaty and then shrinks a little bit. A little more wet, shrinks a little bit. He found like a beautiful younger lady. It was very probably inappropriate. And he starts talking to her. And then he tells her that he has a very specific pastime. And she's like, oh yeah, what's that? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just a part of the AANR. And she's like, is that AARP? And he's like, no, it's the American Association for Nudist Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And she was
He
just
said it
like,
with such sass. He's just like, I said that. That's what I'm a member of.
yep. And so
AARP.
to him,
Bitch. AARP, you dumb bitch. No way.
he was basically like, yeah, this thong is really holding me back. I don't even wear this thong when I hang out with my
He
friends.
was. I remember just talking about not wearing that thong, and everyone was like, please keep it on. Well,
Yeah.
You would go to jail if you didn't. You're at a public pool, but still. Ugh.
Yeah.
What did we call him, though? I think we just called him, like, Leatherman.
We did just call him Leatherman, I think. And that's
So
the
don't
legend
turn
of
to leather.
the Leatherman.
I used to be so dark. I'm now...
Oh, you were so tan.
Oh, so dark. People forgot. Like, they would walk by people. It was bad.
That leather guy was probably like, are you my son?
Rumors have gone up. He's my dad. He's my long-lost dad. I'm a dad. I show up in the same leather thong. Oh. We start doing everything together.
And thongs.
It's like so happy together. We're like holding hands, running. I can't even talk. Running through a field.
Frisbee.
Catching the frisbee with the buttholes and munching on that sun.
Grocery shopping with your own like take-home totes. I just want to picture you guys in
the BSM. We have our BSM totes. And we're just telling everybody what it is. Someone will tell us our total. They're like, sir, your total is $106.95. Yeah, it's butthole sun munchies. It's a group that we're part of. We're also part of the American Association for Nudist Recreation. So go ahead and stick that in your back pocket. Oh, wait, you don't have one. Wait, you don't have one.
You can stick it in yours. That's not ours.
I can stick it in my back pocket because I don't wear any pockets. Okay, so we're going to be very upfront and honest. We don't believe in lying to our listeners. This movie fucking blows. This was Cadence's pick, and I'll let you take it away because you got to justify this.
Okay, well, I don't think there is a justification, but if I'm going to give some context, there's not a way to justify it, but there is a way to provide some context. Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes were predominantly the people who I was obsessed with. So much so that, do you guys remember an MTV show called Fanatic? One time they were taking applications for fanatics of Claire Danes, and I filled out the form online, and the producer called me.
What? You told me this?
Yes.
You never told me this. You know, I got a call back to be on Survivor, but I didn't know because I went for free food. And then
oh my gosh, that's so you.
They were like, come in and do a video screen interview. And I was like, is there more free food? Because it was like at first it was like an open casting thing, and then anyone could just come, and then they narrowed it down, and then I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I came, and they loved me. They wanted me to keep going. But at that time, I was like, nobody knew. I think Survivor, when did that come out?
It was like 2001, I think.
Even if I knew what Survivor was, I wouldn't have ever done it. I had zero interest in ever doing reality TV.
Colin,
just wanted to get a free meal.
But having you have to survive by your wits on an island, they'd be like, we thought this was a good idea, but maybe not. You're just laying in a hammock. You know what? I'm just going to go home.
The sun is not feeding me and my butthole's hungry. I gotta go.
My butthole needs to munch some sun, and this is not the appropriate place, so bye.
You guys are really crashing my butt munching sun vibe right now, so can you, get out of my face?
I've tried to just snack. I've tried butthole sun snacking. Not working for me. Need the whole munch.
My butthole needs a feast at this point, guys. Get out. Oh, I'd be the worst.
Or it's just every piece of footage of you is just bent over, butt cheeks spread wide, and just a blur over your butt every time. And that's the only thing you're ever doing.
And I'm only going to have conversations when I'm full spread butt. Just like,
in your confessional, you're just bent over. So
today, Jerry really fucking pissed me off. And I'm full bent over with my butthole just shining in the sun. They're like, excuse me, Colin, you cannot munch sun with your butthole during confessionals.
We've talked about your butthole munching
1,000 times. I'm also at the ceremony where they give the necklace or whatever, and I'm just full in the back.
They're like, it's actually dark outside between these ceremonies because of the moon and, the fire and everything.
Dessert, what? Baby. UV dessert. You picked this movie because you loved Claire Danes. You realized... Maybe you didn't realize how bad it was, and so you picked it for this week's movie.
At the time, I watched everything that Claire Danes made, no matter how bad it was. And there was a period of time, guys, where a lot of it was rough. So anyway, I watched this when I was...
What's the movie?
It's Mod Squad.
Oh, it's so bad, you guys.
I was looking at a list, as one does, of worst movies ever made, as one does. And Mod Squad was on the list at like a 2%. And I was like, no, there's no way this movie is this bad. As soon as I started it, I was like, I regret this instantly. It was so bad.
I couldn't even we're going to get into the story, just the basics, because it's a movie, but it's real easy, you guys. I think the main thing that was really, it actually does have a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. And scathing reviews, because it really is. It's hard to pinpoint exactly why it's so bad, but it was released in what year? 1997? 1999. it is really wrapping up the 90s with all the coolest 90s tropes and stereotypes you could ever get in one movie.
Our very first artistic endeavors together were making movies / soap operas, which we have some great ones, guys. Some classic tales. But it feels like as if they hired us at that age to write this movie, because it was like all of the lines you've heard in other movies. And they're like, no, that one will work. That one will totally work right there.
It's like, if a brother or sister who were maybe 12 years old were to write, like, what it would be if you're a cool grown-up. Thinking that grown-ups were like 18, 19 years old. You'd just be like, this is what I imagine life would be. And we wrote it.
We'll walk you through it. The good news is, no twists and turns.
Yeah, we usually say strap in for a crazy ride. You know what? Don't this time. Don't. Have a martini while you drive. Have 2. Oh, I get the whole world's going to blow up. I'm not. Just do what you want to do. Have a glass of wine.
It's going to be a very soft cruise. Trust me on this one. All right. So we meet our characters, our very familiar threesome at what can only be described as like a rave of some kind.
Oh,
obviously.
Raves in the 90s were crazy. Always in a warehouse.
No other place to have a rave. All of a sudden, the police pop in, and it's getting busted. So everybody's running, and you think, oh no, our 3 familiar faces are going to get in trouble.
They're hoodlums. Don't want to be on their side. No way. I don't want to be on their side because they're doing crazy stuff at a rave. I'm on the cop side. The cops are good. These guys are bad.
They're like, this is too much dancing, too much joy. Must shut it down. I get it, cops. I get it.
No way, Busters. These 3 familiar faces that we now get to meet, they're part of the cops. Mind blown.
Julie Barnes, runaway, an addict at 18, a fighter. This little girl was as hard as they come. Pete Cochran, a lost cause, the world's biggest screw-up. He went straight from Beverly Hills to county jail. Lincoln Hayes doesn't blame his crimes on anything. Had reasons all his own to burn the world down.
Okay, so as you see, we met Julie Claire Danes. We're just going to refer to her as Claire Danes because we can't.
Because what else can you call her? She's the queen.
And then we have Pete and Lincoln. And this is our fearsome threesome of ragtags. And as you as you heard.
In your mind,
you are not in your mind's eye you saw. But as you heard, this is a ragtag, not at all cliche group of people.
No.
And again, I would have loved to have known that this was an option when I got arrested when I was...
You're like, can I work on the underground team?
So we learn, as you heard from their intros, like this ragtag, non-stereotypical, non-cliche group of teens, actually they're like in their early 20s, they've all committed these awful crimes, but guess what? They've been pulled out of prison, they've been given a second chance, and they get to be undercover cops. Hey, guess how that's how it works.
I would love to... Want to see that?
Guess that works now. Guess it works now. Ha. It works on the Connor cops, and it's gonna be blah. Yeah. Like, what the hell am I doing right now? I'm what's her name from SNL, the weather lady.
Yes.
Do you remember Vanessa Bayer when she does
Bayer.
Yep. It's gonna be partly sunny and higher in the day on the clouds. That's me right now. I loved that skit, by the way. Whew, the best.
I also feel like they give a very clear explanation about Pete and Julie / Claire Danes. Lincoln, they're like, Lincoln has his own reason. No one knows why Lincoln crimes. He just crimes.
He's a born crimer.
It
is kind of funny because they just kind of brushed
ran
that
out
off.
of reasons. They're like, we used
arson and burglary,
on the first two
things. And I love how she was like destined to be a drug addict and all this. And she's like, it's Claire Danes, you guys. She had to have been what, like 18 when she filmed this movie?
Young, like 18, 19 for sure.
So anyway, you get that vibe. And the next scene is them being reprimanded by get this, a father-like figure. They're all delinquents, right? So get this, they have a father-like figure in the police officer who recruited them, okay?
Their cop daddy.
Their cop daddy. And I love it. They really have to set the scene that he's their cop daddy because they're all in this, again, like interrogation room, which I don't think happens when you're getting reprimanded. But he's like, stand up straight. Get your butt off my table. Like, but then he's also
get your feet down.
Yeah, he's just like really like drill sergeant. But then he's like, you guys, you and your shenanigans, I'll get out there. So you get the vibe real quick, and just like that. There's no dialogue to say it. This is how it is.
Yeah, he's always like, it's really interesting because you can just copy and paste this into every scene involving Cop Daddy. So he'll be walking through the halls of the precinct. All the other cops are like, you idiot, you got these no good scoundrels to be on this weird mod squad. And he's like, these is the only chance these kids get. I'm going to take care of them. I love them. I'm their cop daddy and I want them to succeed. Get off my back. And then he'll walk in there and be like, you guys are assholes. Get it together. You're making me look like a dick. They're like, okay.
It's so bad. I think they even use voiceover clips at one time, like, you hooligans. And then he really does. He's obviously anybody that's not the mod squad in the police precinct, he yells at and he's really angry at.
Yeah.
But the mod squad, he's angry, but he also is like, he rustles Pete's hair. He's like, get out there. So it's really pushing, just in case you didn't. And they're not subtle about it either. That's what's funny about this movie. It's not like a subtle, like, oh, he must be like a father figure. He walks in and he's like, get off the desk. I am your father type figure who's a police officer. I brought you kids here. You kids had no parental guidance until I brought you here and I'm making you better. And you're like, okay, we get it.
And they
You're
also
cop daddy. You've done a real good job of making us all know you're cop daddy.
We get it. Thanks. The other thing that I just loved about the most obvious and cliched dialogue is all the other cops, again, because they are never having conversations about anything else other than how stupid the mod squad is.
There's not a lot going on in this police precinct. Not a lot going on.
They're again giving cop daddy shit about it. And he's like, are you guys crazy? They can get into places we only dream of getting into.
Because as the viewer, I'm like, what the shit is this? You get kids that are going to jail and you just pluck them with they have no training. They can't carry guns. They can't carry badges.
That's part of the rules, guys.
That's part of the mod rules, okay? But no formal training, nothing. And he just plucks them and somehow creates this bond with them. I don't know if he had this bond before he plucked them. I don't think so.
I don't know either.
I think
Was he the guy who arrested them? Yeah. Did he go through how many files did he look through to narrow these kids down?
Like how did they get picked? And that's why I'm saying I would have loved to have known this was an option when I got arrested a couple times. I'm getting tased and I'm like, can I be on the mod squad?
I could get into places you'd only dream of going.
Have you ever heard of the AANS?
I mean, NR.
You wish you could get in there, buddy.
I will get in there. I will swing my dick and balls around, and you will wish you could be in there. I will get all the new.
They're handcuffing me, but beating me to the ground. I'm like, y'all get in there. Let me
just try to infiltrate the butt munchers, just real quick. Figure out all their secret BSMs.
Oh, that's so funny. So yeah, I wish that would have been an option, or I would have known about that, because apparently you can just get out of jail time and have a really cool, kick-ass job as like undercover cops and not go to jail and not serve your sentence. I mean, that's a win-win in all situations. All right, listeners, put yourself in the mind of a cop. If you're a cop right now, where's the one place that you could not even get near? You couldn't touch it. You don't know anything about it, how it works, how it operates, and you just need someone to get into this place. I mean, you're talking none of your men can touch this place. You have no idea. Like, where would that be?
I'm gonna go for a club.
That's right. Damn right.
A real hip club.
You know what? You'd make a great detective sergeant. It's my family right there.
I'd be a cop daddy.
You'd be a cop daddy for sure. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Cop daddy is like, he's literally on a building across the street pointing at this club. There's all four of them, just very, very conspicuous. And he's like,
you guys see that club down there? Well, we have reason to believe that there's a black book operation going on inside that club.
What's black book?
Hookers, expensive ones.
Young girls. We also think that the manager, this guy Red Wilson, is involved. Julie, you'll go inside undercover as a waitress and hopefully get recruited.
Hey, why does she always get to be the prostitute?
You two will go inside, split up, blend, work the room, and keep your eye on this Red character.
Here's the thing about this particular club. Because a 12-year-old wrote this script and they were kind of throwing everything into one big pot, this script tells us that the club there's a big time drug dealer
Always.
in the club. Okay.
Always.
So they've got to figure out the big time drug dealer. There's also some sort of sex trafficking ring that's happening within the club as well. So you've got another big set of crimes.
We will never joke about sex trafficking. It is awful. It is real. Never making jokes about it. We are making jokes again about the way they choose to, I guess, portray it in this movie. So it's not really sex trafficking. It's more like working your way to the top as a professional sex worker. But again...
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I also wouldn't be making jokes because sex work is work and there's no judgment. It just feels like the person who wrote this script doesn't quite know the difference. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's like, it's sex trafficking and all this, but the waitresses are like, I'm working my way up real hard to get to the top of prostitution ring. And you're like,
you start as a quote,
two different things.
Quote waitress, and then you get upgraded. Here's the thing, though. You don't have any say about how or when or where you're trafficked. So that's where it gets a little gray again, because you're like, yeah, I'm going to go in to be a waitress. I'm going to become a sex worker and I'm going to make tons of money for this drug dealer. And then it's like, just kidding. It's like the person who wrote it has no idea how any of it works. None of it.
But guess who does know how it works? Claire Danes. Claire damn Danes.
I'm not done because we're throwing one more crime into this pot because a 12-year-old wrote this script. There's a dirty cop involved.
Oh,
he's facilitating all of these deals.
Biggest drug deal in all of LA. It's the biggest sex trafficking / sex working prostitution ring, and it's got the dirty cops involved. The ones that are the same cops that are supposed to be infiltrating that, but they can't. Right. That's why they're involved. They can't infiltrate it. They got to be involved. The only people that can touch this place and get in are this mod squad, and not all three of them. One particular.
Well, Claire Danes. Obviously it's going to be Claire Danes because she's got to become the waitress / sex worker. So the other two guys are just there to, like, be cool, be calm, be collected, keep their eyes out, because she can get into the inner workings. They're just like, where's the bad cop? See if you could pick him out. So that's their only job.
And if you're wondering
to sit around and look
how Claire Danes infiltrates, she infiltrates exactly like she does on My So-Called Life. She is the least convincing, like, hard-ass, scraggly, straggly street person. Like, she literally enters and she's like, where is everybody? Like, constantly on the verge to cry. Like, okay, I'll do it. But she's supposed to be this, like, rough, tough, like, scrappy girl. And she's the least convincing. She's always on the verge of crying, it sounds like. And she literally just like, and moves her head away from the camera. That's all she does. But it gets her to the top.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But this brings me back to another question real quick.
Yeah.
They have no formal training. Like,
right.
Again, dude.
Absolutely right.
So he's like, just go in and act like a waitress. Yeah. Is that what you do? Use your wits. Get in there. Bye. Okay, go. You're my baby. You're like my family. Go in there.
I love you so much. Cop Daddy loves you. Bye.
Cop Daddy loves you. Go infiltrate this drug ring. There's lots of dangerous drugs in there and prostitution. You might get murdered. Go get wits. You're my family. I love you, girl. Like, come on. Again, it's so bizarre. So, because they're young, like, you guys. They're like 20, maybe between 20 and 25 at the oldest. Yeah. And he's just sending them into the world's most dangerous sex police prostitution club.
It's really odd. And I don't know if it's like he's taken a test for their emotional intelligence quotient or something. Like, yeah, you have no idea. They also,
like that's an HR
as
nightmare.
we said, Gary
that's a workers' comp nightmare. She's like, yeah, Cop Daddy got shot in the arm, workers' comp. He's like, should have trained you. So, anyway.
It's problematic. But something important happens of course, all the good stuff happens
Everything
at the
important
club.
is happening in the club at this night.
She runs into somebody she used to know when she was living on the streets. And his name is Billy, but he is played by the one and only Josh Brolin. Thank you very much.
And usually when you're watching a movie or listening to a story, Claire Danes goes up and she's literally like, hi, it's weird to see you again. Your hair's crazy. You want to fuck in the bathroom? So instantly you're like, okay, he's he's going to be a bad guy. This movie's not going to go in
sex with him immediately. Yeah.
She has sex with him. Who, if you saw your ex, even doesn't matter how long, you wouldn't just go and like be like, hey, your hair looks crazy. It's weird to see you again. Sex in the bathroom? Yes. Like, no one does that. So it's being like it's again a cliche to show that he's gonna like obviously be a sleaze and a bad guy. Because what are they gonna do? She has sex with her ex in the bathroom and then they live happily ever after. The movie ends.
Exactly.
Get married.
It's a very cliche move. And so Josh Brolin and her, they used to be, the other thing they share in common now, which I think got her horny, is that they're both sober because she used to be an addict and he used to be an addict. And so they're both like, how long have you been sober? How long have you been sober? Let's go have sober sex. So that's part of it. They feel like they're bonding in this sort of new chapter in life.
God, it's so freaky to see you again.
Freaky?
Yeah. Or maybe it's just the hair. I don't know.
My hair?
Look, I want to say that I'm sorry about what happened before.
I'm not calling, disappearing like that. I was an asshole.
Forget about it. It was a long time ago. We're both really fucked up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Okay, forgiven. It's over. We're moving on.
It wouldn't be a classic like heist cop movie if something at the precinct didn't happen. And meanwhile, so after this night, Claire Danes has fucked this guy in the bathroom.
You are real focused on her fucking that guy in the bathroom. I think you have said that phrase or some variation of it about 26 times. So she's fucking the guy in the bathroom. So they're having sex in the bathroom. So she met this guy.
This reminds me of the time I used to be a waitress at a club and I had lots of bathroom sex, okay? Really jealous of her.
All right, no, so it's clear that she hooked up with him in the bathroom. We're good. We got it.
It's funny that, like, I mean, we've all had crazy days. I've had a lot of crazy friends. No one's been like, yeah, I fucked this guy in a bathroom at a club. That's a drug ring. I mean, you know what? Maybe I haven't had that crazy of a life. You know what? Sue me. I haven't.
Fun.
Maybe I've been tame. Don't know. Don't care. Don't know. Anyway.
But also, maybe that's like, she's been on the streets. She's scrappy. She's like, I know the way to get
that's the thing. Is that
the info ASAP.
What is she going to tell Cop Daddy? She's going to have to explain herself.
He's like, you're supposed
Daddy.
to get someone to pay you for the sex, and you're giving it.
You know, a way to really screw your chances at becoming the top waitress in this place is to just fuck a guy you just met in the bathroom after 2 seconds running around through his hair. That's not how you make it to the top.
Yeah.
So we just established that. So she's kind of off with her dream man. Meanwhile, we learn, because again, it just is perfectly fits everything that this movie is. You guys, there are drugs missing from the precinct.
Working late again tonight, huh?
Yeah, every night. Till we find out who stole those drugs from the evidence locker.
And remember how Cadence and I said that the club that encapsulates all evil in the world? What else was going on there? There was dirty cops. So instantly we're like, dirty cops, missing drugs, precinct, Mod Squad. Maybe Mod Squad did it. Maybe Mod Squad took the drugs, because that's where your mind wants to go. That's the picture they're painting.
Because they were the criminals.
They were the criminals. And as a viewer, I'm like, they were what am I supposed... People are either criminals or they're not. And in my head, when I'm a viewer watching a movie, I want to know who the criminals are. When I'm told they're a criminal, I want them to remain criminals.
Right.
So
no
if
hope for
these
change.
3 people started off as criminals, they remain criminals in my mind. Okay, that's the bottom line. And guess what? The precinct feels that same way. Okay, everyone's just like the Mod Squad. They're the ones that did it because they're criminals. Wow.
Two points on that note. One, they don't have access to guns or badges, so I doubt they have the code to the evidence locker, number 1.
You never know what Cop Daddy gives them.
They do not have that privilege. Number 2, did no one consider that it's possibly meth rat?
Oh no, meth rat from Pacific Blue. He's just meth out of his mind, running around eating all the cheese. Well, eating no cheese. He's on meth.
And
he's taking apart the cheese, putting it back together again.
They're in California. They're in LA, so that rat has just made his way down.
Right around
Pacific
the time
Beach.
it was Pacific Blue. Oh my gosh, that's...
He's making
the
his way up and
rat
down the
is
coast.
just like so stressed out with his family. He's like, I gotta put this microwave back together again. And his wife rat is like, Gary, it's been too long. You've been like this.
I think you have a problem, Gary.
I think you have a problem.
So anyway, I'm just saying there are other possibilities.
But everyone in the precinct automatically is like this mob squad because all of them are pretty bad. You guys, I'm I'm going to guess that there's one cop among them. But guess who's not a bad cop? Greer.
Obviously, Cop Daddy.
Cop Daddy's not. So he learns about this, and now he's kind of like, okay, well, now I got to figure out who's doing this. I might get the mob squad on that. You know what? They might be able to figure this out. But before he has a chance to even have that plan come to fruition, you guys, let's take a moment of silence. Cop Daddy dies.
No, main character.
Cop Daddy died. Not just main character, Cadence. Father figure to 3 real crazy hooligans, okay? What are they going to do? They're going to be devastated.
Yeah.
Okay? So yeah, they are devastated that Cop Daddy's died. Not only did Cop Daddy die, he got murdered. Number 1, that should be a given. Cop Daddy doesn't just die of natural causes. He gets murdered. Number 2, as their children, they kind of actually almost witness Cop Daddy die. They find his dead body after they hear a gunshot and he got pushed off a bridge. But guess what? This does not end. If it wasn't a stereotypical cliche movie, guess what they find with Cop Daddy? Got corrupt cops, a drug ring, prostitution ring, drugs missing from the precinct. Now we've got the dead daddy cop. Yeah, they find drugs on him, guys. Lots and lots of drugs. And so it's a setup, obviously. Duh, Mob Squad knows that. We know that. Now the Mob Squad's got to do...
You gotta stop saying the Mob Squad, my friend.
I'm saying mod.
You're saying mob every time.
I say mod. I know. I learned my lesson.
Okay.
Maybe I want to say Mob Squad. You guys, I thought it was Mob Squad. I kept getting so frustrated I couldn't find the movie. I just
Our
thought it was
audio
called
track
Mob
is
Squad.
still called Mob Squad.
I just changed it to MOD. Do you see it?
Oh, it didn't show up on mine yet.
But it's the Mod Squad.
Okay, so
Which,
maybe
by the
I'm
way,
mishearing you.
Is from an old 1970s TV show, which I didn't know.
It's a remake. Yes, we forgot to say that.
It's a remake, you guys. Anyway, they find the drugs on Cop Daddy. And so this kind of lights the fire within our Mod Squad. Because now it's like personal because their dad died. And now it's professional because they are fake cops that can't carry guns, badges, or have any authority at all. So
and they got to do their job.
Or they'll go to jail. So they are determined to figure out who did this, who framed Cop Daddy. But everyone else in the precinct is like, you guys, we know you stole those drugs. They're all kind of like projecting, in my opinion.
Right.
And they're real outsiders.
And Julie knows because Julie's on the streets. Like, she's got her wits about her. She knows what's up. So she immediately is like,
Greer wasn't like that. It was a setup.
Obviously, there's a dirty cop. Obviously, he was killed to make it look like he was the dirty cop. And obviously, we're going to get shit now because we were once criminals. So how are we going to get out of this? So their whole mission becomes untangling themselves from this. Not at all, because this is not a complicated plot. Just stepping out of the narrative. It's like stepping off the trail.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You know that saying, like, when the clown goes home, who makes the clown laugh?
I don't know it. I'm glad I know it now, though.
Oh, well, there's a saying.
You changed
that
my
says
life.
like that. But it's like, when the police chief dies, who's there to investigate? Who investigates the police chief? Because nobody does. It's only the Mod Squad.
Right. The other
There's no other higher ends that come in from LA and investigate his murder. They're like, yep, he's dead. He was involved with drugs, and there's no questions asked.
Nope. Open and shut.
Open and shut. It's just done.
Done. Okay, so meanwhile, Julie has one last glimmer.
We kept saying
of
we're going to
hope.
call her Claire Danes, but we've been calling her Julie
You're
this
right.
whole time. Okay,
Claire Danes.
Julie.
She has one.
We're obviously not on the
1,
same
2,
page.
3. Say the same name.
We would not be a good Mod Squad. We are not aligned.
We definitely are not. Okay, so Claire Danes has one last glimmer of hope in her sad life, which is Billy, the guy she fucked in the bathroom in case you forgot. Multiple times.
I'm still angry in that bathroom. I'm still the waitress mopping up. Oh, damn. Hooligans having sex in the bathroom. She's still so mad I'm not promoted yet. I could be having sex in the bathroom if it wasn't kept as a damn waiter. I get real southern.
I was just going to say, I have no idea where your mopping waitress is from, but it took a real hard turn.
I'm real upset. I have to be a waiter down here. In Nolans. It's real hard in Nolans to be a waitress. Have you ever been to Nolans? My character just went a whole different route. I just become when people walk in and you hand them the dish towels. Hey, welcome to Nolans. They're like, this is LA. Ever been to Nolans? Ever been down under? They're like, that's Australia. It's Nolans too.
Oh my God. I love
Anyway.
the idea of her trying to be a part of the mom squad, but just cannot fit in at all.
My only thing is I can do a really vague, drunk, really southern New Orleans accent.
You're right,
Come to
because
Nolans.
she vaguely sounds like the alligator scientist.
What was her
It was
name?
really-
Brenda. Brenda.
I'm real sick. Just let me not the floor in the bathroom, right? It's like this person has sex in the bathroom.
If the stall door is closed, means somebody's using it. If the stall door is not closed, means someone's maybe only doing number one.
Thanks for coming back, friend.
Thanks for coming back, Brenda. Okay, so Claire Danes, continue.
So her glimmer of hope is that Billy is now back in her life. So he comes over and there's this really, I mean, if I say the word cliche one more time, I get that it might sound annoying, but I can't emphasize enough how cliche this is.
Because again, imagine a 12-year-old is writing this. What would a 12-year-old write to be like quirky and weird and different that Billy would bring Claire Danes? Not flowers.
Not flowers. I was just going to say not flowers.
Not flowers. He brings her a goldfish in a bag.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she's like...
She's sad. She's sad about Cop Daddy. And he's like, I know what will cheer you up. A fish in a
goldfish.
bag. Obs.
And so she's talking to him, just being like, oh, I loved Cop Daddy. He was like my dad. I was like his daughter. He was my dad and I was his daughter. And we had a father-daughter relationship. While she's doing this, she's putting the goldfish in a pitcher. The only reason we're bringing this up is because it's very out of nowhere. But I felt like the writers were trying to be like, let's be quirky. It's the 90s. Like, this is very casual and cool. I'd be like, dude, my Cop Daddy just died. Like, don't bring me a goldfish. Now I have to go buy fucking goldfish food. I don't know what goldfish
You
eat.
just made my life harder.
You made my life harder. I have to now take care of a
Thanks.
creature when one creature just died. And again, because there's no real dialogue or character development, Claire Danes is absolutely head over heels in love. Sex in the bathroom means they are getting married and having kids. She has put all her eggs in one tiny little basket and she is ready to move forward with her life with Billy.
You also forgot the
They will
best
be on the
part.
porch drinking non-alcoholic beers.
Oh, duels.
Oh, Jules. Because they are sober and
back.
they'll be having a great time with
Relaxing.
their 10 sober kids.
But you forgot the best part is that because she's so quirky, when she goes to pour her goldfish into her glass pitcher, she accidentally pours it on the countertop.
And it's
Oh
flopping
my God,
around
the
and they both have to get it in.
fish.
And again, Claire Danes, not scrappy, not funny. She's just like, oh, my goldfish. Always about to cry. Pure. Always about to cry, on the verge of crying. The whole
She's
time
like
it sounds like she has a frog in her throat.
Inner
Like she's like,
monologue.
yes.
And then my goldfish fell on the counter.
She's
and he
depressed
just
Carrie
knew.
from Sex and the City. She's like the sad version of Carrie from Sex and the City. Always sad, about to cry. So anyway, yes, but you're supposed to see, I think, that there's this like budding romance. But as a listener, do you think that the movie is going to end with them getting married and having kids and being sober, drinking adults? Or do you think it's end with Billy being a bad guy? Just saying.
Yeah.
Think. Food for
Okay.
thought. Food for thought. Fish food for thought.
So the end of this beautiful montage is as still, again, I'm going to say it one more time, cliche as you can get. They have sex, then they're goofing off on the bed, painting each other's toenails.
Love it.
Then all of a sudden, Billy has to go mysteriously. He's like, I got to get to an AA meeting. I got to get the hell out of here. I'm so sorry. I had a great time. But one more thing. And he picks up her lipstick and gives her his number writes it on the mirror.
How did he find her address? How does he know where she lives?
We have no
At this point, she doesn't even have his phone number. They had sex in the bathroom. How
That's
does he
very
even
true.
know where
He's
she
leaving
lives?
her his phone number.
She's
for
also
the
an
first
undercover cop,
time.
and he's a part. Well, we don't know what he is yet, you guys. But he would be like, "Yeah, she's part of the mom squad." Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Right. So the point is that he gives her his actual real number because the next day she's moping around, she's feeling sad,
Thinking
and
about
she
Cop
decides
Daddy.
decides she's going to call him. So she calls the number he left her, and a woman answers the phone. And she's like, huh, that's weird. So then she hangs up and calls back.
Hello?
Who's this? Who's this?
Who's this?
Told you not to pick up the fucking phone.
She's like, surely this is not the phone number he wrote on my mirror, until she hears his voice in the background. So then she's like, well, I'm not trained to be a cop, but something tells me this
like,
isn't the person I thought he was.
Don't call me Shirley. I was waiting for that for so bad. Excuse me, my name's not Shirley. So remember fun-loving, like, oh, my fish is flopping out and I'm trying to put it in, Claire Danes? No. Claire Danes has the fire of 1,000 enraged, sober sons in her, and she is furious. So she is now, because she's madly in love with this guy, you guys, she's madly in love with him. Come on.
Yes.
So now she's decided to get a taxi to his home.
Which he's also given her the address to,
Yes.
where he lives. He did not try at all to cover anything.
And I'm thinking, okay, a bit aggressive. You guys did just meet in a bar. But she does exactly that.
I think you mean they just reunited in a bar.
Reunited.
They also had sex in the bathroom.
Just thinking how crazy it would be if, like, you reunited with your ex in the bathroom and then immediately the next day followed him to his home.
You show up in a cab.
So you need to cool it. So she follows him in a cab, and what does she find out about Billy?
Well, I mean, she pulls up in the cab and he immediately, broad daylight,
This is broad, sunny LA, you guys.
walks out of his thing with a harem, like his doorway to like his apartments, just completely with like 6 women. And he's like, hey, beautiful. Hey, sexy mama. Hey, lady, let's get in this car.
Imagine?
He's like hurting them and like chickens. It's the weirdest thing.
Claire Danes gets out and she's like, someone answer the phone like this. Hello? Is it you? Is it you? Say hello one more time. Say hello. Who is this? Hello. Who is this? It's not you. Say hello.
Not
Who is
you.
this? Hello. Not you. She just wants to find the one bitch who answered the phone. She's still mad about that.
Fuck who the rest of you are. Who answered the phone?
She's still mad about that one sexy voice bitch who answered the phone. Yeah, because if it's not a big enough deal that he's cheating, which we learned again from the phone call that we may have just mentioned.
Right.
There's literally a harem of women around him. So it really is just drilling in the fact that this guy's a sleazeball, just in case you didn't get it. So she's not just like, oh, I met my ex and we fucked in the bathroom and now I've learned that he's still a sleaze. She's like, I'm going to follow this guy.
This seems
and see what the rest
fishy,
of his
no
day
pun
is like.
intended.
Let's see what he's already got a harem. I got to see where the rest of this day goes.
They just got out of brunch. It's freaking first thing in the
It's
morning.
10:30.
Hey, ladies, let's go get some pancakes.
So she literally follows Billy the rest of the day, and Billy is so wrapped up in his harem.
Well,
that he
her
has
cab
no
driver
idea.
follows Billy.
Well, yes, her cab driver. I should
He's
say.
like, are you going to pay me for this?
That's a ton of money to follow this guy harem around. But now the cab driver's invested. He's like, you know what? I'll cut your tab. I actually want to know what's happening with this guy.
I actually want to see how this pans out.
It pans out. Okay. So she follows Billy to.
Oh, just a cash mansion in the Hollywood Hills where there happens to be a party going on. And it's such a big party that not a soul, not even Billy or one of his women, notices that she gets out of a cab right behind them and walks in the front door right behind them and follows Billy right to the back room where he has a conversation with the biggest drug dealer in town. And she's just hanging out by the door like, oh, this is what I thought was happening.
And she does another really great thing that I love when movies do is she doesn't do anything heroic or great. She literally just eavesdrops on a conversation. And guess what happens in that conversation?
The whole thing, all the things happen during that conversation.
The entire plot of the movie. It's just out in the open.
There's no subtlety whatsoever. So the main thing, right, is that Billy is meeting with the top dog drug dealer. And the drug dealer, of course, is like this big, rotund guy who looks like a mobster with big chains, wearing a velour tracksuit. Just your typical drug dealer. And Billy's saying, listen, I am the greatest at what I do when it comes to turning waitresses
Sorry, I
into
was
sex
refilling my
workers.
martini. You said velour jumpsuit, right?
I heard that.
Love velour jumpsuits, and you know you're dealing with a top-notch drug dealer. If there weren't ever like certain velour jumpsuit gold chains, top-notch. You want to nail that interview, buddy. Billy?
Get it right, Billy.
Put your best foot forward.
So he does, because he makes his case by saying, like, I am killing it as a sex trafficker. I have so many waitresses that are now my harem that are answering my phone. I've turned them into part-time receptionists. You have no idea how handy this all is. What I can do for you,
Fully integrated.
synergy. What I can do for you is take all that boss energy into the drug realm, and I can do it. Like, you can make me the top drug guy too. I can manage lots of things at one time. Then
Drug
this is
Lord's
where
like,
the whole plot comes out.
Drug Lord 101. Do you give your number out to people? Your real number? Do you? Drug Lord 101? And he's like, oh, yeah. You failed. Get out.
Okay, well, there is a glitch there. You may have done that. But other than that, so the drug lord says, does the cop know that you're a bad guy? And they're talking about Claire Danes because they know she's in the mod squad. It's all part of
But they
their
don't know that
plan.
they know she's in the mod squad. That's why he gave her his real number, his real address, and she's managed to literally sneak into this facility. They are completely unaware that she is listening at this moment.
Right. And so this is where Josh Brolin, Billy, says,
You relax, Bob. None of them have any idea that I know that they're cops, especially her. Look, I'm her goddamn dream man, okay?
and so there you go. There you have it, people. There you have it. He has played the part to a T. He knows, but he doesn't know that she knows that he knows now.
And she doesn't know that he knows that she knows that he knows. And he's like, I also got her a goldfish, so it is. I sealed the deal, buddy. I'm quirky.
It's in
I'm
the bag,
cool.
if you know what I mean.
So yeah, he basically lays out the whole plot, and we've really just gone a long way to tell you these stupid things, but we kind of forewarned you at the beginning. We kind of gave you a disclaimer that there's no twists and turns in this movie. It plays out exactly like it should. So what do you think happens after this?
Well, as a former alcoholic / addict, Julie has a quick rage relapse because she's real sad about hearing this.
But before you tell her what her rage relapse is, okay, this gives Julie some street cred. Okay. Because it shows her, which again, we've said this stereotype 1,000 times cliche, but if you really want to portray an ex-alcoholic having a relapse, they're always drinking a handle of something out of a brown paper bag because everyone does that no matter what. You do not have time to take it out of that brown paper bag.
No.
But you're like, oh man, as a viewer, you're like, oh man, that's sad. She's drinking again. She really hit that hard. Nope. We see a scene of a car exploding on fire. Julie had a relapse, you guys.
The rage relapse wasn't just that she was drinking the liquor. The rage relapse is that she lit a car on fire.
She was mad.
That's how she processes her anger.
She was so in love with him. She had he was her dream person. They met the night before. Come on. You have to understand her rage to set a fucking car on fire. Come on. She went from slashing tires. Nope. Julie does not have time for that. She's a scrappy bitch. Blow it up.
Maybe that's why she also drinks alcohol, because it's like a 2-for-1. She uses it to set fires, and she can also get
She's all
drunk at the
blowing
same
fire.
time.
She's spitting it on the car. And she's like, and your goldfish. Throws the goldfish. Poor little guy had nothing to do with this.
The poor goldfish is like, you dropped me on the counter already. You're throwing me into a flaming car. I did nothing to anybody.
It's all relative. In the goldfish's mind, Julie's not. She's not the one of this movie. So now that Claire Danes, Julie, has figured out the whole entire plot of the movie because all she did was eavesdrop. Nothing cool. Nothing risky. She literally just had jealous rage and followed someone and then found out the answer to the whole entire plot. So she goes back to Pete and Lincoln and she's like, you guys, I jealousy rage, found out the whole plot to this movie. I also got really drunk and blew up a car. Let's
just forget about that.
Let's forget about it. Don't tell anybody. Well, Cop Dad's dead. He's not going to reprimand me. So they're like, okay, well, how do we take these cops down, you guys? And they come up with a really great plan. And this is where the movie shows off its prowess in like that kind of like high style, like, you know, all these different cool brains coming into action. They decide to go sit in a car outside of a house where one cop lives, wait till that cop has a bad, corrupt cop party, and all the other bad, corrupt cops go to that cop's house. And then Pete's like, I'm going to do the same thing that you did, Julie. I'm taking a note from your book. I'm going to eavesdrop.
But I'm going to take it one step further.
I'm going to take it one step further. What does he do, Cadence? Give it to him. Give it to him hot.
He has a little tiny baby recorder in his hand. A little tiny guy. And he's like, you know what? You overheard with your ears. I'm going to overhear with this.
He goes full Home Alone status. Pulls out.
I may not have a gun.
I do not have a gun.
But I am packing heat.
I do have wits. And he records the whole, because when bad guys get around, all they do is like, yes, drugs. We committed those crimes. Yes, mumble, drugs, crimes. We committed all those crimes. Mumble, killed Greer. Yes, mumble.
What makes it even more?
And he gets the full 2-hour conversation on his little baby Walkman. And he's like, got it.
They run out of tape. He has to take another tape out, put it in. It's like, this meeting is really running
he's
long.
Like, got it. We're ready to go. And then Claire Danes is like, Pete, did you remember to put in batteries? And he's like, oh, I didn't. And then it's like, wah, wah.
Just kidding.
Mop squad. That didn't happen. Of course,
but while they're waiting, so it shows them waiting in the car for quite an extended period of time. It's like, it's gone from day to night. They're really locking it down.
They have no idea when this bad guy cop party is. They just got to wait it out. Eventually, they're going to have all the bad cops over. That's all they know.
Like what's the thing? A fly to honey? Is that what it is?
A moth to a flame?
Or a moth, I guess. Either works.
Fly to honey.
So, Claire Danes delivers as...
Bee to honey. Flies don't go to honey. They like shit. Flies to shit, bees to honey. Moth
like
to flames.
Nick Cage to Honey Island.
Let's not bring up honey. I do not want Mama Honey to come get me. Okay, go.
So we were just joking about like her being really emo and like delivering a lot of her lines like Angela Chase.
On the verge of crying with a little bit of frog throat.
While they're waiting for the cops, she is one of the perfect examples. She's like, is this what cops do all day? Just to wait in cars? And she's so deeply sad about having to wait in this car. It's like I'm like, your boyfriend runs a harem and wants to be the top drug dealer. I think you've got bigger issues, my friend.
Julie, I know it's hard to be in a car, especially after you just blew one up because you got crazy pissed at this guy you fucked in a bathroom. But this is what we got to do we got to do it, okay?
She's like, anytime I sit in a car over 5 minutes, I got to blow it up. That's the deal.
She's got a whole other side story that's just like real bad.
I'd rather be watching that movie. But the point is, as Colin said, eventually they all, one by one, the dirty cops pull in. You guys, it's every fucking cop in that precinct minus Greer and the chief. Every one of them.
Now we know they were all after Greer all the time. He was defending them so hard because these guys are all assholes and they're bad.
Yeah.
And so they're like, got it. He literally, you guys, we're not joking, has a tape recorder and records it because everyone knows that works. You can really fully understand what everybody says on a tape recorder outside in the wind 30 meters away. Picks up everything perfect.
What works in his favor is they start the meeting on the inside and then they transition the meeting to the outside and he's in the backyard, so he even gets a more clear recording because the most important part happens in the backyard.
The most important part of the whole movie has to be re-explained in the backyard. So we're just going to wrap it up with a nice bow, you guys. They catch the bad guys. They redeem themselves. They are no longer number one suspects for stealing the drugs from the precinct. They've cleared Cop Daddy's name. All is good.
So
is it?
What I want to say is because I really want to bring this tape recorder back into the mix because I love it so much. So the bad guys and the dirty cops are doing a handoff at an abandoned airport because of course, right? And the mod squad has called in the one cop that's not a bad guy, the chief, I guess. Maybe
After
he
they
brought
took
a
that
couple
tape
other
recorder,
guys
they
with
were
him.
like, we have one person to show it to, and only one person can do anything about it.
So they bring him in, and then the bad guy, the cops who are bad are in full cop uniform, and they think they're going to get out of it. They're like, look, we're just arresting the bad guys. We're not doing a handoff, not even close. Are you crazy? But
Classic
meanwhile,
story.
Pete has accessed, I guess, even though it's an abandoned old airport in the middle of nowhere.
Let me guess what he's accessed. A giant speaker system that blasts the tape recorder confessions across the whole place.
Mm-hmm. And everyone can hear it perfectly.
Mhm.
Not a mumble, not a smudge,
Because
not
again,
nothing.
You're recording behind a bush in a backyard with wind, multiple cops talking outside, and everyone is perfectly articulated and clear. So then you take that recording from your 90s little record box, then you hook it up to a speaker system.
You hold it in front of the microphone. You don't even hook it. There's no cords involved. There's no auxiliary cables.
You just
play it.
inside. It's like,
Why did you have to kill Greer? You know about us and the drugs, okay? Got in the way. This is bad. I want out. Yeah, me too. Thanks for that, Carl. Come on. This is our line, asshole. If you want to get in our way, you take your best shot. But I ain't guaranteed where you'll end up. Ernie, come on, put it down, man. Put it down. We're all in this in the end, right? If this deal goes through, we're set for life. Come on.
The chief is like, what is that?
Pete's like, yeah, I did it. He's like, wait, just a minute. They're moving outside. Anyway, we planted that bomb. I was gonna the opposite. It just totally clears up. No, but yeah.
We're totally the dirty cops, and we totally killed Greer, and we totally planted drugs on him. Good thing no one's recording this conversation.
That's exactly what plays over the intercom. And we're not joking. It plays over an intercom. We're not kidding. And that's exactly the dialogue that happens. It's like, hey, Joe, how are you? Well, good thing I'm cleared. Hold on.
Good thing what now?
You do it. Go. You be. Let's be cops. You're
Okay.
Joe, and I'm Billy. Hey,
Oh,
Joe,
hi, Freddie.
Can't even do that right. You can't even do. Okay, I'll go first. Okay. Hey, Joe. Nice night we're having tonight, huh?
Hi, Freddie. What'd you say? What was
Nice
that?
night.
Pardon? Hey, Freddie, pardon?
I killed Greer. And then I killed him. He passed me on the gun, and I framed the mod squad. Pardon? Joe, pardon?
Pete's like, fuck, this recording is doing nothing for us.
That would be me. They would not get anything out of me.
And then I'd have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my throat. That's a drunk.
You fucking
I definitely took care of it. I'll buy it too. We're good. Sounds like we both succeeded.
And I that's a realistic thing that happens in movies, but not in this
All the
movie.
time.
Okay, we have to do it the real way. Okay. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Fred, what's up, bud?
Oh, not much. Just killed Greer earlier today.
Oh, cool. Hey, did you remember to put the cocaine on his body?
I did. I put a lot, way more than any human being would be carrying at a time. I actually taped it to his body, shot him, and then dumped his body off a bridge and hoped that someone called the mod squad would find him so that we could actually place all of it on them.
Okay, that's actually a great idea. I was just curious if, like, you got all the drugs out of the evidence locker because we still have to actually sell them to Billy because he's going to be the new drug dealer in town. And so, like, we need more than the cocaine you left with Greer because if you put all the cocaine on Greer, we're screwed.
Joe, You fucking bitch, I got the memo. I remembered to split it up exactly so that I could sell some to Billy, the new drug lord, and also kill Greer and plant it on him, okay? And save a little bit for this party, okay? Save a little bit for the party. We clear?
Okay,
Are we perfectly clear? Joe, are we perfectly clear?
I just want to emphasize.
Joe Stevenson, are you perfectly clear that you got the whole story?
I get the whole story, but I also need to ask you a quick question. Just so we're all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are a dirty cop, correct?
I am a very dirty cop. Are you a dirty cop?
Okay. I'm also a dirty cop.
I would feel
just
so
wanted
stupid
to make
if you weren't a dirty cop.
I know. I would
so
be like,
dumb.
oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
This is so stupid. Like, oh my gosh, I'm here being a dirty cop killing people. And you guys are like, no, it's just a party. Like, oh,
we're really just having a potluck.
This is really dopey. I'm glad. Okay.
I thought I was coming to a dirty cop meeting. Okay.
Now that we're perfectly clear about everything that happened, let's go inside. Glad we had this chat outside by this bush. Bye.
Let's just take a load off. Yeah, so that's what happened.
The end.
That's the end. They oh, wait. They do say there's like all three of them standing on like this old train track because of course that's what they're doing.
90s.
Of course it is. And they're like, I don't know, you in for another round? And they're like, yeah, I guess. Are you in for another round? And they're like, yeah. And they walk off into the
And then I come out of the bushes,
sunset.
I show him around down in Nolan's and never stop. They're like, Colin.
You guys need someone to clean up after you? Because I got all
I just
the
snorted.
goods.
Oh my goodness. This martini's getting to me. Whew. Have a good time.
It really is. So anyway, the point is that they decide that they're going to stay part of the Mod Squad. I don't know that anybody's formally asked them or that they will have another cop daddy to take Greer's place. Not sure if they're still allowed to carry guns or
Who's
not.
filling out that paperwork? Who's passing off this? But they decide. So are they vigilantes now? Because they're just.
I love that. Yeah, they're just like, you know what? We're the Mod Squad, and the cop's like, actually, we're not going to sanction this program anymore. It kind of got out of hand. Okay, cool. We'll take it from here.
Actually, this went horribly wrong. We all used to give Greer a lot of shit for picking you guys, and it turns out that it actually it was valid.
We were right.
It was valid. It was totally valid.
So who knows? Maybe they're doing a complete, vigilanteism, doing their own thing in the Wild
Billy's
West.
gone. Everyone's gone. Everyone gets busted. They win. It's anytime you play a confession over a loudspeaker, you're gonna get away. Like you've won. You've won the whole movie.
And there's actually no legal ramifications for that. It goes directly to trial. There's not like lawyers involved. People aren't fighting the confession because it was, not a two-party consent
we learned
state.
This when Greer died. It was like, yep, he's a drug dealer. He's corrupt his whole life, even though he had a family of 5 and he was a devout Mormon. Corrupt. He's done.
Sorry.
Not that devout Mormons can't be corrupt. You get it. Whatever.
Anyway, point being, it was the dumbest. You saw everything coming from a mile away. Whoever wrote this thought they sounded so fucking cool the whole time.
Claire Danes
News
was
for you, bud. You didn't.
Literally frog-throating, about to cry in every interaction. She was so angry and just literally went, oh, and walked away on every scene. She was also
Except for that bathroom
I'm sorry.
sex.
Julie, you got a little bit crazy, girl. Like you set a car on fire.
Yeah, we still don't know whose car that was, and we never hear about it again. It's just over.
Julie, if that was a stranger's car, that's shame on you, girl. Even if it was Billy's car, like, come on, girl.
Not 100% sure you can be a part of the Mod Squad in good conscience.
The next movie is just Pete and Lincoln being like, "Hey, you've blown up like 3 cars in the past month, and we think you have a problem. And Mod Squad can't really do that right now. Sorry."
But I mean, they're like outside the rules. Nobody quite knows where they fit in criminally. So
they're
flip a car, no one gets
They
hurt.
don't fit in the police world, and they don't fit in the criminal world. That's the whole point of the Mod Squad.
Dang it.
Hope you guys liked it. That's the end. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. So yeah, I was obsessed with Claire Danes and I watched anything. And at that time, I did watch the monster. Oh, hey, friend.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm just making...
You making a
Just making a little. Once you start talking about Claire Danes and Leatherman, I start getting all. I'm like, I need a martini.
You get loose.
I'm just making a full martini. It is 8:45 p.m. where I am right now, okay?
Maybe just shake it in a different direction.
Was that so loud? Like the
so
time
loud.
One time I wasn't drinking a martini, but I was drinking something out of a straw. I think we have it on one episode, and I
think she left it in because it was so loud.
Oh, it was
but the
so
other
funny.
thing was Colin had been bitching at me about. I had like a cord that was like slowly dinking the table. It was like clunk, clunk, and then all of a sudden he's like.
Meanwhile, I'm making a full martini. Let's see if we can get this like the popping.
So I was a receptionist for a long time in my 20s, and I was at the front desk of my college.
Not a long time. Like a few months.
It felt like a long time. It was like 2 years. And I was eating lunch at my desk because I didn't get like a proper lunch break. And anyway, I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the phone started ringing, and I was like, oh, I can definitely make it in time. I can answer. And so I misjudged how fucking hard it is to swallow peanut butter in a hurry. And so I answered the phone and was like, hello. But then the guy on the other line knew something was going wrong, but he didn't.
Are you dying?
Really,
is that your regular voice?
He really was. He started laughing and he asked for something, and I was like, and he started laughing even more. But I was too embarrassed. Like now I would be like, sorry, I didn't swallow my peanut butter sandwich. I would have no issue just being like, I misjudged, I miscalculated. But at the time I was so embarrassed that I just tried to make it sound like that's how I always sound on the phone. I always sound like a frog.
It's froggy peanut butter voice.
Okay, I'll be right back.